All right. So, as Arlen mentioned, our flagship property is our Cuddy Mountain Property in Idaho. To give you a little background, Idaho, about Idaho and about Zeus. Zeus is a relatively new company, started in 2024. We staked 3 projects primarily for silver back in 2021 that have now become the properties that are in Zeus. One of them was the Cuddy Mountain project, which, as Arlen already mentioned, happened to be adjacent to the Hercules discovery, the Leviathan Porphyry discovery, which has lit up the district and has amounted to thousands and thousands of stakes claims throughout the area. So it's really cool. So anyways, back to the beginning, here we are with Zeus. I'll have you look at some of those forward-looking statements and read that in your spare time. So again, as I mentioned, Zeus started last year. We have these 3 projects, primarily our flagship, the Cuddy Mountain project, which is adjacent to the Hercules Metals discovery. We also have 2 other projects named Great Western and Selway. They were also staked primarily for silver. One of them's a copper silver carbonate replacement style. That's the Great Western project. And the Selway project is more of an intrusion related copper gold target, which we've done limited work on thus far, but today we're really just going to focus obviously on the Cuddy Mountain project for its merits and what's going on with Hercules and Barrick and the likes. Obviously, we like Idaho, and I think more recently people are starting to really like Idaho in that they've just come out with the SPEED Act, which is an initiative that has come in since the Trump administration has entered to basically streamline and quicken the permitting process for advanced projects in Idaho. So things like perpetual resources, which a lot of people thought was maybe never going to happen, obviously now they've already got their decision, and they're moving forward. So that's really positive for Idaho, even though Idaho has a rich history of mining and has a number of existing mines there and past producers. It's just made it even that more mining friendly in the current jurisdiction. Again, Idaho, some of the bigger projects that people know: Freeman, Liberty, Revival, Perpetua, Integra, Hecla. There's some great deposits there. This primarily focuses on gold, but there's some really great gold and silver projects there in Idaho, and a lot of still in production mines as well, still producing over $1 billion in metals annually out of Idaho alone. I know Arlen loves to have some real experts come in and talk about the fundamentals about silver and copper and stuff. So I'll leave that to them. But obviously I think there's nobody out there right now that isn't talking up, what's going to happen to copper as we move forward here over the next 10 years. And we're definitely seeing that from all the majors. That the technicals behind copper are just showing that this thing is really, we need copper, we need deposits, and because of the length to develop these new deposits, we really need people to get on this and find these things now and start moving them towards production decisions. So with respect to our flagship project, the Cuddy Mountain project, here it is. We're the block in blue. Again, we staked this project back in 2021 prior to the Leviathan Porphyry copper discovery. That's a blind discovery. That's why this belt wasn't really known for being a porphyry copper belt. I think now there's some really great slides coming out that are showing that this line of tier 1 porphyry copper deposits that extends all the way up into British Columbia, Canada, and all the way down through the US is now being connected down to Cuddy Mountain, right down to the Oregon border here, as part of that string of pearls of tier 1 porphyry copper world-class mines, both producing and past producing. So that's really cool for this belt, because I think initially it was thought to probably be maybe a VMS belt. There was definitely some polymetallic, high-grade polymetallic silver showings. So again, we staked our project for the same reasons that Hercules Metals, then called Hercules Silver, staked there. As you see all these little mining symbols on our map here. Those are historic silver, high-grade silver showings that are in the rhyolites, the younger volcanic sequence that's exposed. We stake this because it's in one of the erosional windows. What that means is there's some really young basalt cover throughout this area, and in places it's been eroded down, and we get these what are called erosional windows because we see the underlying stratigraphy, so they're not masked by the overlying basalts. We're along this major thrust fault, the Bayhorse thrust, which is clearly very important with respect to mineralizing in both the underlying Seven Devils volcanics, which now hosts the porphyry mineralization, and the overlying rhyolite package that hosts these high-grade silver showings that were known for, in the past. So again, staked exactly the same reasons that Hercules had, not knowing that there was porphyry copper there. Obviously, it was a blind discovery that Hercules made at depth, and we're in the same boat that, with the exact same geology as them, and I'll get into that as we go forward. So what did we do in 2024? Well, we really threw the book at it. Basically, we property-wide sampled this with respect to, we did 3D IP, ground mag, we did soils, rocks, we did complete property-wide mapping, and so that we're really ready to pick our targets and come out with our high-priority drill targets for this year. I love this slide because I put this in here. This is on the left is one of the Hercules Metals discovery section, and what it shows is the drill hole starts up at the top in the andesites, goes through a thick sequence of rhyolites, through an unconformity, and into the Seven Devils volcanics, which we now know hosts the porphyry mineralization. Basically, if you look at our this is our mapping that we did in 2024 with our team. As you walk from the northeast section of our property and walk down the hill, we go through nearly 1,000 meters of stratigraphy. But more importantly, we walk through this exact stratigraphy that they've come to know through their drill holes. We start up in we actually start above this in some sediments. We go through andesites, the thick package of rhyolites, all the way down. We see the unconformity exposed, and then we just get into the very top of the Seven Devils volcanics. These pink strands on their section are quartz porphyry dikes. They are mineralized as well, but as per Hercules, they're interpreted to be later phase mineralization. We see some of those exposed on our ground, which also have chalcopyrite mineralization, very similar to what they see in the core. So what it tells us is really we're in the exact same spot in the stratigraphy as they are. Strategically, we will be drilling down near the top of the Seven Devils volcanics. So strategically, that's important. If you followed Hercules in the past, you'll understand that they've had some troubles drilling, not with respect to the deposit, but with respect to technical issues, being that they are drilling through complex structures and a thick sequence of geology before they hit the porphyry mineralization. So we think one of our strategic advantages here is that we'll be drilling down here near the top of this Seven Devils volcanics, which basically eliminates having to drill anywhere from 300 to 600-700 meters of overlying volcanics. So very important, and really cool that we see all the exact same aspects that Hercules does. This is just one of their maps that shows their drill plan from late in 2024, just showing that we're just up here to the northeast along this great creek. And of course, they're showing on their maps that, this mineralization right now is still considered open in all directions. They're drilling focused here primarily because it's within their patent mining claims. So that's a place where they can drill easily without having any worries about permits. So in order to pick targets outside within their BLM claims, they have to pre-permit those, which is the stage we're at right now. Again, this is another kind of a blow up of that map that you saw a few slides ago. Again, that strategic advantage as we get down into the top of the Seven Devils volcanics. Also, anytime we have any map cross structures coming in anywhere near the top of the Seven Devils volcanics, we're seeing copper mineralization and veining coming up at surface. These are all good indications for us that we're in the right place, with the interpretation meaning that we're, this is some leakage coming from the subsurface, so copper mineralization leaking up to the surface. What's happened since day one. We were staked here. Hercules was staked adjacent to us with they had a small gap through the Great Creek area that I pointed to on the other map. Well, before they made their announcement, they ring staked us, and then did a deal with Barrick. Barrick came in, put $23 million into them as an equity financing. Subsequent to that, Barrick staked, well, they could still be staking, but we know they were staking well into the fall of 2024 by helicopter, and have staked thousands of claims, basically covering the entire belt for over 60 kilometers. Other noticeables in there are Scout discoveries, which just had Rio put some, Teck and BHP put some money into them as equity into their last financing. They're a private co. Rio Tinto has staked 2 blocks in here, one further down that's not shown on this map, and then this staked area in gray down here is also Hercules Metals. But aside from that, almost the entire belt, aside from a few smaller juniors like Nev Gold and a few others, is almost 100% staked by Barrick. So again, probably spent the better part of 12 or 13 months staking with thousands and thousands and thousands of new mineral claims in this district, just showing that Barrick's come out and said they want to be a player in the copper business, and this is one place where this is basically a previously unrecognized porphyry copper belt in the U.S., and they could come in and get a massive foothold here, because as we know from these maps that show this string of pearls extending all the way up into Canada, that there's not only going to be one deposit here, and it seems very assured at this point that Hercules is going to have a deposit of some magnitude, and that just means that there'll be more along this belt, and hopefully whether Zeus is part of the same system that Hercules is drilling, or whether we are part of a different part of the system, that's to be determined. But we think we have a very excellent chance to make a significant porphyry copper discovery. So where are we right now? Well, we put these properties into Zeus last year. We did this massive exploration campaign, 3D IP mapping, ground magnetics, rock grab, soils. We did preliminary evaluations at both Great Western and the Selway projects to see if we can advance those. And we've done our results and interpretation, and we're literally going to come out with those any day. We're just finalizing the maps to best show those anomalies and file our permits. Other things that we're planning to do here, obviously we're looking to strengthen our board. We're looking at putting out our results. We're looking at submitting our permits for drilling, and all these are, I can tell you, they're very, very imminent. And we're going to talk about Selway and Great Western and how we can advance those moving forward. And as always, we're looking at new acquisitions. This company Zeus came to birth by I have a group of friends, financiers, geologists, and we have for more or less, for lack of a better word, a syndicate where we find projects, and some of those projects are not suitable for us. They become listing projects for someone else. But anything that's significant that we think has a shot to develop, we definitely try to do it ourselves if we have the capacity. This was one of them. What we love about this Cuddy Mountain project post the Hercules discovery is that this one's very cut and dry. We did all the groundwork, and we're ready to drill. If we're onto this, we'll have a major discovery. If we're not, we're moving on with life. So this is not meant to be a lifestyle. This is meant for, I'm a geologist by trade and over 25 years in the business. I want to find mineral deposits or give that property its best chance and move on. I don't want to take soil samples in a massive area for the rest of my life. I want to develop mineral deposits and find things. So that's where we are, and that's really cool for Zeus. You know, I always throw this slide in there, and I think Arlen loves this slide with the value creation, where you see what happened to Hercules when they made their discovery. Basically, they were at the same market cap as us in September 2023, and you know, you can see it was an over a 10x overnight based on the discovery. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dean. Just got a couple minutes for questions here, so as they roll in, Barrick, that's a huge district that they got pretty aggressive on. And just out of my own curiosity, like, what's it cost to like stake that amount of ground, do you think? And I know this is just a guess, but like,
well, our guess based on the land position that they have as of say November 2024 was somewhere around $30 million. And then, you know, with tens of thousands of claims at $200 a claim, you can do the math on that on their holding costs. So their holding costs are also millions of dollars a year. So in the US, the way it works is with a BLM claim, there's no assessment. There's no, basically you pay your $200 for your 20 acres every year, and that's it. But when you have 10,000 claims, that becomes obviously a significant number. So yeah, somewhere around $30 million. And I think as some people may or may not know, I mean, Barrick came in and staked over everybody. They just staked everything in the hopes that somebody misfiled, somebody did something wrong. Obviously, they didn't stake over us because we were there. We were the ones that were there prior to the staking rush. So it gave us a bit of an advantage that way. But yes, they, I mean, as an example, that red block that Rio has on our map, when I got the files from the county office, I could see that Barrick had completely overstaked them, but had missed by about 2 days. So that's an example where they were really just not trying to outguess themselves and stake everything and sort it out afterwards.
So yeah, we got 30 seconds, but so this is traditional staking. This isn't digital staking.
Yeah, and the US is antiquated. It's boots on the ground. It's you know, putting stakes in the ground. So
yeah. And super quick question. Have you seen any sentiment change in permitting since the Trump administration's come in?
Yeah, 100%. This has trickled down very quickly. We see the Forest Service and the BLM becoming very much more proactive with this, you know, with this jurisdiction and other ones that I'm involved with. That they suddenly became very, so the word has traveled down quickly that that they want this to speed up.
They know who signs their checks.
That's right. Yeah.
Dean, thanks so much. That's all the time we got for you today. Your stock has increased in volume in the last week here, which is great to see. So yeah, we'll be watching out for some of that news that you say is coming out.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.